Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with ChrisChamasiros. I talk about politics, sports, and entertainment to keep you well-rounded what's going on around the world. If you don't like hearing the truth, definitely don't tune into this channel. So let's get started today. So Sean Hannity, he goes on the PBD podcast, and I'm really not crazy about the things that came out of his mouth. I'm just going to say this before we start. President Trump has already admitted that there's an Epstein list. But he said there's certain people on the list that didn't have anything to do with having sex with minors, and he didn't want to destroy their life. So for Sean Hannity to say there is no list, President Trump already said there's a list. Let's jump into the video and we'll go from there.
The things, my first thought is on the Epstein files is if there was something so damning in there about Donald Trump and the weaponized Department of Justice of Joe Biden had it, does anyone here doubt they would have released it?
Just once, Sean, if they're all on it too. If Bill Clinton and all that group is in there, they're like, we really want to, but we can't because we're in with him.
They could have selectively leaked, though. I mean, they're more sophisticated than that.
True, but then
right?
the investigation opens up, Sean. But I see where you're coming from, but that's what it felt like to I'm just like you. I love the president. I love what he's doing. Pat mentioned that he stumbled. But that's the one thing that hit me in my head where I'm like, maybe, I'm not saying he's definitely on it, but I mean, he knew the guy.
But here's the problem that I have with Vinny's trying to say, and it's what Sean Hannity said. Democrats would have leaked that President Trump was on there. Democrats don't play by the rules. They don't do anything by the rules, law. It means nothing to them. They would just leak the part about Donald Trump if it was on there to the public, and then they would blot out or black out the rest of it.
Maybe they're all on it. They're all on it as well.
Okay, so add one more piece to the puzzle, right? Because to me, it's a puzzle, people trying to put it together. 20 plus years ago, he threw his ass out of Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
Okay, now, if you got something on somebody, you're going to throw him out of your club in a spectacular fashion and embarrass the hell out of the guy and not expect that that guy's going to come back at you with information if he had it. I don't know. That's hard for me to believe.
Your understanding of what's happened with Epstein, you've been in this 30 years. 30 years is a long time ago where stories, 90s, 95 come in and you're hearing stuff about this guy. What is your impression? Is this a bad guy? Is this guy, did this guy do what he did? Because some people are saying, who knows if he did? Now they're saying, who knows if the
Trump,
stories are right
I
or
know
wrong?
the story. When he got kicked out of Mar-a-Lago, it was because of how he treated young women. That I know for a fact. It wasn't for no reason at all. That the reason
President Trump is on record like 20 or 30 years ago calling Epstein and his island a complete cesspool. There's a video of it. You can pull it up on YouTube.
the reason he got kicked out was because of his treatment of young women at Mar-a-Lago.
You have to realize this is so tough because 3 times I voted for this guy. I'm speaking for myself, right?
Yeah.
16, 20, and 24. When you come out and Bondi tells media, you know,
At a restaurant?
James O'Keefe's group, when they're coming and recording, there's terrible things in those tapes.
$10,000.
Cash comes out, says things about them. Bongino comes out saying, I'm in a Fox room with another person that I can't say their name because Fox didn't allow me to give the name, that the footage that they have goes back to Mossad, and it's all linked back to Mossad with Epstein.
By the way, how the hell did the Mossad get pulled into this? It's that.
How did Mossad get pulled into Epstein?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the connection. What, because his father somehow might have been.
See, this is the part that's really mind-blowing, that Sean Hannity is trying to deny Israel's role with Epstein. Epstein was clearly doing intelligence to get dirt on famous politicians and other famous people. And this is the part of the podcast that Sean Hannity totally loses me on.
Been connected to him.
Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell.
Mr. Hannity, let's
Sorry,
not play
Maxwell.
games here.
Yeah.
You know the Mossad runs the United States. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, leave it to the idiot Sosnick to try to make a joke out of it. There's nothing funny about it, Adam, because it's true.
No, by the way, he's being
I'm
sarcastic.
joking, by the way. But certain members of our audience believe that.
So,
What do you feel? Why do you feel that's such a
there were
distraction?
people that didn't want
Adam, can you shut up and let men talk?
to take out Iran's nuclear facilities. For
Yeah.
the life of me, I cannot understand that. For the life of me, there is a vein of, I would argue, virulent anti-Semitism. We see it in the halls of Congress. We see it on college campuses. But it's simple, basic.
So it's anti-Semitism to think that Epstein worked for Mossad? I mean, come on, Sean. You got to do better than that.
Fundamental common sense. What frustrates me about that issue is that if that's your reason for not wanting to take out their nuclear sites, you don't understand the Trump doctrine. Because in his first term, he kicked the crap out of the ISIS caliphate, defeated them in record time, took out Baghdadi and associates, took out Soleimani, dropped the mother of all bombs in Afghanistan. And so the Trump doctrine is, yeah, sure, no forever wars. I'm with you. I don't want forever wars. We can't ever go back and do what we did in Iraq ever again. With the advancement of military technology, we won't have to fight wars that way. Future wars will be fought in air-conditioned offices. But I say all that.
Why is he straying so far off course? Epstein operated in America under the FBI's nose for 30, 40 years because he was intelligence. He was collecting intelligence. He worked for the Israeli government, getting intelligence on politicians in America and famous people all over the world. Oh, man.
It's like, did you not understand the Trump doctrine?
Wait, let me go back to what you said.
Yeah.
So you 30 years, Fox, you're not under the impression of any stories that Jeffrey Epstein and his brother Mark may be linked back to Mossad with Israel, with the amount
I have
of
no evidence of that.
So 32 times the prime minister of Israel visits.
Well, Ehud Barak, right?
In his apartment, and he's seen leaving with a mask covering his face.
That's not a valid concern.
Oh, no, it is a valid concern.
Okay.
Just because I say that I stand back and wait, I'm just telling you, I can't give you a definitive answer today. Now,
give me a break, Hannity. I mean, give me a break. Oh, yeah. Epstein was given like $200 million, a $300 million mansion for absolute free. They put cameras in there. What do you think was going on? Who do you think was funding that? He got handed a fortune for absolutely nothing. Why do you think they gave him that fortune? What do you think he was actually doing? He was an intelligence officer for Israel. I mean, just give me a break.
do I want to get to the bottom of all of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do find people getting over their skis a little bit in their commentary. That's my humble opinion. And
self-inflicted, though. I think a part of this is self-inflicted.
They should be. You never want to overpromise and underdeliver.
To me,
never.
To me, it would have stopped right there. Because if I run for office and I say, here's the 5 things, this is what's important to me. And then all of a sudden, guys on my team start making promise. Oh, we're going to do this. And then they go on podcasts. And we're going to do, and let me tell you, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, guys, listen. Who are you? When you say we, who is we? Are you representing me? Did I tell you we're going to do that? We're not doing that. I'm going to let you know, take the lead. So I feel the way they got into this debacle is they did it to themselves. Now, there's plenty of research, independent journalists that have done to find out stuff about Epstein that they're not too comfortable about. And there's plenty of stuff out there. I mean, I was watching his deposition this morning on, hey, have you ever gotten a felony before? I have. What were your felonies for? One was for solicitation of prostitution, and the other one was solicitation for a minor.
By the way, that deal never should have happened with that Palm Beach prosecutor. That was insane.
Don't tell us what we already know, Hannity. Why did he get that deal? We all know why he got that deal. Because he was working for Mossad and the Israeli government. That's why he got that deal. Because anybody else goes to prison. But sit there and,
what was this?
He'll sit there and be like, oh, that was super. Don't tell us what we already know. This is what a lot of these guys do. Ted Cruz does this all the time. He gets up there on the House floor and he tells everybody what we already know. We elected you to do something about it, not to just complain about. That's what Hannity's doing right now. Oh, that should have never have happened. That is totally, he's deflecting from the actual topic. Why would Epstein get that deal, Hannity? We all know why.
Sweetheart deal of all deals.
Well, yeah, and so again, Vinny, I'm sorry. I know
no.
To me, a part of that.
No, keep fighting. I kind of like it.
No.
Part of that sweetheart deal is where people are going back and saying, I met Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi gives me the vibes of a very character, ethical type of a person. I
She
didn't
is.
get any.
I can tell you that.
I got nothing but positive vibes. She was very nice to my boys. She was very respectful. But to all of a sudden say that they have nothing and it's just child porn, that's confusing. By the way, you know who has the most credibility on this story here? I'm going to show you guys something that's even going to spook you a little bit.
Okay.
Okay? Tell me who hates Trump the most. The last 10 years, since 2016, can you tell me who hates Trump
That's a
the most?
long list.
By the way,
PBD.
that's a long list.
No, but I
Yeah, including you, Adam, and you're on that list too. The new grift is you're pro-Trump. Adam is just a low-life, manipulative dirtbag. How he has a job is beyond me. Utterly useless on the PBD podcast. When he talks, I just have to turn the podcast off or fast forward it so I don't have to listen to this idiot.
want you to go who was close ally,
Close
who
and
hates him the most. Who?
You're going to play Nancy Pelosi.
No, I'm not going to play Nancy
that's
Pelosi.
a good clip
Keep
on
going.
Pelosi.
Play.
Well,
I'm not going to play Pelosi. You're not going to be able to guess
His
what I'm
old
going to play.
picture,
Michael Cohen?
Michael
Okay,
Cohen.
Rob, play this clip. Watch this here. Okay.
What can you speak to about
is
your
yesterday.
time with Donald Trump as it relates to Jeffrey Epstein, if at all?
So actually, I fell into Trump's orbit around 2005, but I became part of the Trump organization as the executive vice president and special counsel.
Oh, for all of you that don't know, he's been caught lying multiple times under oath. He should have went to jail for lying under oath, obstruction, whatever you want to call it. He's a piece of garbage.
2007. From the time that I started to the time that I finished in 2018, I actually never heard him mention Jeffrey Epstein at all. I never saw Jeffrey Epstein in the office when I was one of the
guy hates
10,000 hours
exactly.
in Trump's office
Exactly.
doing work with him. I never heard Jeffrey Epstein on the phone or even call into the office. There was no relationship from the time that I started at the org to the time that I left.
And so how do you then, when you kind of look at what is transpiring now and the way he's handling it, what do you make of the way he's handling it, the reason why this scandal, if you will, this controversy, this individual has captivated so much attention and raised a lot of serious, legitimate questions?
Sure, because that's what they campaigned on. That's what he sold to his MAGA base. He was going to release the Epstein files. He was going to release the Martin Luther King files. He was going to release the John F. Kennedy files. He chose not to. It's a mistake. He should have just released the full file, because by not doing that, all it does is create these conspiracy theories. Oh, he must be guilty of something.
See, this is the part. Michael Cohen, Vinny, like you tell me.
Exactly. Cohen despises Trump. If President Trump had anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein in a disgusting way, Michael Cohen would be screaming it from the rooftops.
Why Michael Cohen, who on any chance he's gotten to lie to destroy him, he's done it.
Exactly.
That this probably, for as weird as it sounds, he has the most credibility on this topic the last 20 years to say what he, I know this sounds very
He's been
weird.
around him.
He has zero credibility.
But you know what I
with
mean on
anything.
credibility
But I
with this?
understand what
Yeah.
you're saying. He would be the last person you would
He
expect.
would be the last
Yeah, I
person
agree.
to defend.
Of course.
This is an easy slam dunk for you to say, well, you know, there was that one time I was sitting next door and he picked up a call and he made some jokes about underage and I felt very uncomfortable. And I asked him, who were you talking to? Said, my boy Jeffrey. And I had to walk it because that was the one thing that drew.
Yeah.
Even Bill Gates' wife said, Melinda, hey, what made me most uncomfortable
Was
with Bill
him.
Gates was who?
But
Was a
Jeffrey
relationship
Epstein,
with
he was
Jeffrey Epstein.
abhorrent.
So
He
you
was
mean to tell
abhorrent.
me this guy who hates Trump that much is going to defend him? It's a little weird.
But my question is this though, guys. So it's undeniable what he was doing. He was recording. It was a blackmail operation.
He being Epstein.
Epstein.
Yeah.
When Alex Acosta, Sean said, you know, he worked.
Vinny, it's not just a blackmail organization. It's an intelligence gathering for the Israeli government, and I'm sure they're sharing that with the American government also. So for anybody that doesn't believe that our FBI or CIA, the CIA and FBI know if you didn't put $1 on your tax return, you think that they didn't know what Epstein was doing for 30, 40 years along with Sean Combs? They both work intelligence. They both collect information on people, get them in compromising positions so they can be blackmailed to support the Democratic Party or whatever political narrative that they're trying to spin.
Intelligence. Could have been Mossad, could have been ours, could have been a group of people. Our thing is Pam Bondi, Bongino, Patel, that they were screaming from the rooftops. This is what, if I'm in and I'm leading up to their assignments, then once they're in, Sean, we feel like somebody told them, hey, shh, shut up. Just like when he was arrested in Florida with that sweetheart deal you were talking about, Alex Acosta, whoever was in charge, you gave him a 12-hour, all he had to do was be there for 12 hours. So he slept at the prison, the door was open. He only had to sleep there one night. Who gives a convicted pedophile that type of access? But then when you go back, why is Epstein visiting the White House 17 times? And then
Only the elite and people that are working for the government have that type of juice or power or whatever you want to call it. Epstein was a Mossad agent. People could say whatever they want. He was working for the Israeli government.
Mark Middleton, Sean, who was his close aide and advisor, that guy signs him on 7 times, and then that guy suicides himself hanging from a tree with an extension cord,
Exactly.
shotgun to the chest, no shotgun found. It's just all this stuff. All we want, Sean, as the supporters, and I get it. Trump's not on it. Put that aside. But the people that were on those tapes, Sean, those terabytes of information, we want I know the real MAGA. We want accountability for those pieces of those demons who destroyed these kids' lives, Sean. Who these kids, by the way, I say this too. I talked to Tom about this the other day. What do you think they did with some of these girls or underage boys that were with these high-profile guys that saw their faces? You think they just let them go back into society? No, they're gone forever. We've lost 300,000 kids at our border. Thank God Trump said that they found, 10,000? What about the 290,000 that are gone? Gone, and nobody cares about them. So we have.
God bless Vinny. He's a great human being, a great person. I cannot stand when Adam tries to say, oh, you're getting him, and tries to act like he's doing something wrong or he's not educated or he has no self-control. No, Adam, he's just not a manipulative piece of garbage like you, and he's a real human being.
To keep talking about it. I don't think Trump's implicated, but come on. Well, I don't want to see any child porn, but you guys are seeing it, the FBI. Arrest those people. Arrest them. You see them. Why do you have cameras in every room? Whistleblower said every room, Sean. Everywhere you went, you were on camera. Who was he recording it for? And where's the footage?
Exactly.
I had one source tell me. Take it for what it's worth. I'm trying to piece this together as you are.
Sean, keep playing that. I'm trying to piece together as you are. I'm pretending to be Mr. Integrity here. Give me an effing break, Sean. You're full of shit. Today, you're really full of shit, Sean.
That there were none of those tapes existed. Those tapes you just referred to. Now, as it relates to Acosta and his comment about the intelligence.
Hold on. So all these cameras that were recording, there's no tapes. That's what Hannity's saying. He could sit there with a straight face and say everything in his energy, posture, and body language is off, and he's lying through his teeth right now.
Intelligence community. What intelligence community? We need more details. So to me, I have more questions than answers. I want the answers like you do. I don't think there's anything more repugnant. Bible even says as much than to harm a child.
Matthew 8, chapter 8, verse 6.
Bingo. Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I learned from this guy over here.
There's nothing more offensive to me, and I don't think anything more offensive to God if you believe in the Bible as I do. And I want the answers to the questions. Now, I'm just maybe a little bit more willing to give it more time. I want more information. I want it all revealed. Now, let's see, for example, Pam Bondi's trying to get the grand jury testimony. Dershowitz, who's a...
Hannity, of all people, needs more information. So Ghislaine Maxwell is doing 20 to 30 years for human trafficking underage children. Well, who is she trafficking them to? Hannity? So Epstein he was the only one having sex with all these people? No, you already know. There was politicians, Bill Clinton, famous people all on that island. There's tapes and you know it. And the government is doing their best to destroy the evidence. What more evidence do you need, Hannity? Because there's not going to be any left. But the way this keeps going, they're going to destroy all the evidence so it never gets out.
Friend of mine, and man, he got caught up in this for a while, and he was so adamant he was going to sue everybody. He's like, and Dershowitz, his entire career has represented controversial figures.
Oh yeah, because Dershowitz would never lie. He would never lie.
Like OJ, and in the case of Epstein, I also know David Schoen. He was friends with Epstein in the final years of his life. I interviewed him, asked what he knew about it, and I want the answers like everybody else
Did you hear
does.
what
They're probably afraid to speak out because they don't want to end up with a fake suicide, Sean. I mean, that ever cross your mind?
Dershowitz had to say?
I did hear what he said. and I-
Dershowitz wrote an article, I think it was in the
He
Wall
talked
Street
about
Journal.
the grand jury testimony
Yeah.
being where the mother lode would probably be.
Yeah, I mean, whether you believe Dershowitz or now, that's on you. But I'll just sort of boil down his main 3 points. And, we live in a rush to judgment, trial by media, trial by social media society. So respect for you for
No, Adam just wants to defend Israel because that's what Adam does no matter what they do.
waiting until actual evidence comes out versus rushing for judgment. Here's what Dershowitz had to say. Number one, there was no client list. The list that you speak of was the victims list. People hear list.
By the way,
list. They freak out.
I have 4 sources, not 1, not 2, not 3,
Not 4, not 5. We're winning
4
championships
that
here.
say the
Yes.
same thing. That's
Okay.
why I said
This is so stupid. This is such an ignorant statement. So you have all these victims. Well, who were the perpetrators? You can't have victims and not have perps. So whether it was a list, whether it was people were there. It's just, I wouldn't expect anything less.
everybody rushes in with their commentary, and I'm like,
course.
I'm going to wait.
He also said the 2 other
Wow.
things. Number one, the tapes you speak of were public tapes. Like we have videotapes here, all in valuetainment, everywhere you go. There's cameras all over here, but there's not cameras necessarily in PBD's office or in PBD's bathroom. I don't know. This is what Dershowitz
sure
has
about
to
that?
say.
This idiot now, Sosnick, wants you to believe that Epstein wasn't filming the sexual acts. Sure. You know what? It's just amazing to me that this idiot has a job.
I don't know. I don't know.
Cameras in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Number 3, and this is the one that's going to freak people out, that there was actually no actual ties to intelligence agencies, whether it's Mossad, whether it's CIA. I don't know. This was his attorney. He understands the law.
You are
I would love to hear
making
his.
my point.
Yes.
It's like these are all unanswered.
The intelligence agencies will tell somebody like Epstein, if you out us and you get in trouble, we will leave you on your own. And not only that, we'll make sure you go to prison for life. So you kind of got to play the game. Epstein gets caught up a little bit. He knows they're going to take care of him. He goes through the process. He gets a deal of a lifetime. That's what they do. They look out for their people. If you out them and say, oh, I work for them, guess what happens? They disconnect. They get a hold of a prosecutor. And instead of doing 20 years, now you're doing life.
Questions. Now, if there is a valid criticism, like I do believe they had a pile of an Epstein file. I don't think they went through it. They just said they had it, and probably that created a lot of hope in for people, and then that has now evolved into
Don't
suspicion.
you think that this was Pam Bondi's job that she completely butchered? Hear me out.
Yeah.
I think Kash Patel is an honest guy. I think Dan Bongino has the highest credibility.
Yeah.
I actually believe Trump on this one. I don't think J.D. Vance has any clue what's going on in this. He wasn't around during any of this. Pam Bondi, she was a little known, attorney general in Florida, whatever
Right
she
after
was.
the Epstein thing in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm saying on the national scale.
She kicked ass in Florida.
Yes, I live in Florida. I've heard her name a bunch. On a national level, nobody heard of Pam Bondi. All of a sudden, she's catapulted to Attorney General of the United States, and she's an attractive woman. Hear me out. She sees herself on TV, national news, for the first time of her life.
I don't think
You're telling me that a star doesn't look at the, oh my God. You know who believes me? Megyn Kelly, because she's exactly what she said. Your old friend Megyn Kelly. Is Megyn Kelly wrong?
No, I'm not going to sit here and say anyone's right or wrong. I'm just saying I haven't come to my conclusion. I respect everyone's opinion. You know, this is success in media is not a zero-sum game. My success, my failure is not rooted in anyone else's success or failure. If they come to a conclusion based on their opinion, their gut, their instincts, or information they have that I don't have, I respect it. I listen to it, I absorb it, take it in, but I have to get to the point like I did in all of those cases I mentioned to you where I ended up being right. I spent 3 years with an ensemble cast to get to the bottom of Russia collusion, and we were unpeeling the layers of the onion, the lie. Look what it's now evolved into, right? It took 3 years of programming on radio and TV to get to that point. We were proven right. The corrupt legacy, state-run legacy media mob, they were wrong, but we did it very we did it. It happened slowly. It happened over time. We found out the Hillary Clinton bought and paid for dirty Russian dossier. Yeah, it was used as the basis of 4 FISA warrants. Hillary Clinton got a pass when it came to top secret classified information. You know, if I have any bit of concern over this, is people are so focused on it, and they should be. I'm fine with that, because I want to get the answers. I think we'll get a lot more if we get that grand jury testimony. That will be up to a judge. But here's the problem. Sunday was the 6-month mark of Trump's presidency. And what you played earlier from me and what I'm saying about it is so transformational and consequential. And he's taken on every big, major issue in a way that
This has nothing to do with the Epstein list, Sean. Nothing.
no president that I can think of in 100 years is fundamentally shifting the country, I would argue, back to constitutional order and limited government, greater freedom. All of that's lost.
So I will give you. I'll give you one thing to be thinking about. You're a sports guy.
Love
You
sports.
you love throwing the football at the end of your show, and you know so who was the team that almost had a perfect season, and at the end of it they lost because of a couple turnovers that they made, devastating. They could have gone undefeated the entire year. Would have been known as the greatest season any NFL team
Patriots.
ever had. The Patriots,
Against
right?
the Giants,
Right,
baby.
against your Giants, right?
Yeah.
So what's the point? This is all I'm saying. All I'm saying is when you have a vision that big and you're working your ass off the way that you are, and you're trying to juggle all these different projects at the same time, you have to talk to your leadership team. No more turnovers moving forward. Not at this level. This could have been prevented. This was a massive fumble that could have been prevented by the team. Because to Trump's credit, when Trump did that interview with Rachel Campos Duffy, and she asked, and she goes like this. So, Mr. President, you know which scene I'm talking about. She's like this, right? And she says, so are you going to release the John F. Kennedy? Yes. Are you going to release the Martin? Yes. 9/11? Yes. Not this one, Rob. Are you going to release the Epstein? Yes. I don't know, because, so even then, Trump didn't give a definite answer.
No. He
So-
said, because some people's names might be on there and
So
they might
to
not be
his
complicated.
credit, he's not ran on this.
True.
He's not ran on this. His team ran on
Exactly.
this.
Great point. Great
So
point.
this is the scene right here. His team ran on this. And Rob, I don't know if you're gonna. Okay, is it right off the bat? She says that. Yeah, right off.
Here's my problem with this. You can get down, if you go down the list, this person had lunch, this guy played golf. Just because you played golf and had lunch doesn't mean you're a pedophile, even though you're in bad company. You interact every day with, we all interact with people every day who we have no clue what they do when they go home. Just go down the list. This guy's not a pedo. That guy didn't participate. This guy played golf. That guy played golf. This guy went for lunch. This was a business meeting. Yeah, this person's into it. No big deal. And it would all go away. I mean, I fully support President Trump and whatever he does. I believe that he will always do the right thing for America and American citizens. I have full, complete faith in him. But now that the people around him dropped the ball to fix this, that's what they need to do.
Off the bat. Okay, play from the beginning.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah,
Would you declassify JFK files?
yeah.
Would you?
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
Well,
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
you can pause it right there. So to me,
But
I
by the
get
way,
it.
That's revealing too, in my view. And when you're talking about, like, for example, you call somebody a racist, you're basically saying they're evil to me. There are certain things that you accuse people of that it will take them down hard. If in the files they have.
Not really in 2025, Sean. You know why? Because everything is racist in 2025. The word at this point has absolutely no meaning.
And this is, I think, the point that Trump was making when he brought up, remember who put these files together? 4 years, Biden Justice Department had all of it. Nobody even asked for them to release it. It was never an issue. And you could say, okay, well, Trump kind of half said he would release it, but then said maybe not because because there might be innocent names in there. But then you look at the people that put it together, maybe when they got to the bottom of it, and we'll find out, I think, over time. Maybe I'm just a little more patient than your average. But maybe there are innocent people. Maybe there are allegations in there. By the way, you're a pedophile. Okay, you're on the list. Now you have to defend yourself, but you're not a pedophile. What happens to that person's life? Falsely accused. I've seen that a lot in my life,
Many
too.
times, to a lot of guys.
When I met with those kids from Duke Lacrosse, I actually drove out to their house, and this is why I ended up being right, and everybody else was wrong. There were nearly 100 professors at Duke jumped on the bandwagon. They wanted these kids taken down. Those kids' lives are never going to be the same. Richard Jewell's life was never the same. Darren Wilson left the police department. His career was ruined. It's like we are too quick to do that. Now, with all that said, there's no doubt in my mind that Epstein is a creep, a scumbag, a lowlife.
Why is he, though?
Well, I mean, just what we know from the trial, the sweetheart deal that he got the first time.
So what?
He just won't say it. Why is that? If Ghislaine Maxwell's in prison for sex trafficking underage girls and boys, those are victims. If you have victims, you have perpetrators. But Henny just can't say it.
What people want is when you study this guy's lifestyle and what he did and how he made his money, and Lex Wexner giving a $77 million most expensive private residence in Manhattan to him as a gift, when he gets a $158 million consulting fee from Leon Black, when he has an 8,000 square foot property in New Mexico, that he was practicing eugenics and his DNA being transformed and passed down to different people. When you look at there's a lot of weird things with this guy. So we can continue there. But the last thing I'll wrap up on this, by the way, when you're saying all that stuff, I agree, because Trevor Bauer's career in baseball was destroyed.
Yep.
Pasadena court by a girl that lied, and no one in the MLB wants to sign this guy.
Sure. Yeah.
And he could have gone a $250 million contract to $300 million contract, made some real money. He lost a few $100 million because of a lie. Because of a lie, they destroyed this guy's potential on income. Now, he still loves the game so much that he's playing for nothing because of the love of the game. But this guy's dream was to play in baseball. It was entertaining to watch. So you're right. All that happens. I'll wrap up the last thing and we'll go to the next.
Let me ask you,
I want to go into the Russia side with you.
Is there anything you think I'm doing wrong? Anything that I'm saying?
No, not at all. No, the only reason, we've been podcasting for 5 years.
I do, Sean. I just think you're going in full denial mode. You want the audience to believe that Epstein was operating this island with all these famous people for 30 to 40 years, and you want the audience to believe that the FBI and the CIA and law enforcement didn't know that. And since they did know that, it's been on record multiple times. Prosecutors were told, leave Epstein alone. He's an intel officer for Israel. He's back off. But Hannity, for some reason, he'll do research and he'll believe certain reports, but those reports he doesn't want to look at.
We started this 5 years ago. My content was purely I'm a business guy. I'm a business guy that grew up in Iran, that came up here and, made his money, went to the U.S. Army, went into the stock market, became a stockbroker with Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, built an insurance company, sold it. But as a financial advisor, when you're in it for 25 years, what you learn to do is a needs analysis every day. What is a needs analysis? A needs analysis, Mr. and Mrs. Jones.
All right, I'm going to end it with that. I'm really disappointed in Sean Hannity today on the PBD podcast. If I'm going to put it bluntly, I think he's full of shit. With that being said, thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros.